Hi, my name's Joe with Focus on Christ. Welcome to the Focus on Christ podcast. I'm so happy to be here, that you're here today. I'm so excited to be sharing with you the topic that I'm going to be sharing with you today. This is episode number 24, and I'm looking forward to sharing this message with you, and I hope that it is well received, and I hope that you are changed because of the message you're going to hear. Before we get started, I want to make sure you've been over to midlifechristless.com here recently. We have a brand new tool that's up there for you to help you kind of sort through and get unstuck in your life. One of the things I learned as I was doing research for putting together this particular product was that we have about 88 million plus U.S. adults that are Christians that share the fact that they don't know what their mission and vision for God is. That's a lot of people that are stuck in life. And quite frankly, I want to help you get unstuck. I know that I can. I know I've been down this path before myself. I know what it feels like, and I know it's uncomfortable. And I want to help you get out of that discomfort. I want to help you live into the life that God has called you to fully utilize all your skills, talents, and abilities in service to God. So head on over to midlifechristless.com and check it out. If you haven't been on our social media platforms in a while, please go over to Focus on Christ on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. That way you can drop feedback, and anything that we're putting out new is going to come through those channels first a lot of times. Or if you're on iTunes or Libsyn or one of the other podcasting platforms, that's awesome as well. Just drop comments in there and let us know that where you're viewing from, and would really appreciate that. So today's topic, it's kind of maybe a little bit more of a rant for me, maybe not. It kind of depends how this all comes together. But I wanted to share this idea with you because I think it's a misconception that we have a lot in the Christian leadership sector. So the title of today's podcast is Christian Leader: Why 1 hour doesn't make it true. Why 1 hour a week doesn't make it true. So Christian leader, why 1 hour a week doesn't make it true. I don't know what's changed, quite frankly, from the first century to the 21st century. I know fundamentally that life looks different. I get it. I get that life has changed a lot. We're going from camels to carriages to whatever vehicle it is that you're driving, 4 wheels and a motor. It doesn't matter. So I fundamentally understand that some things have changed. I have to ask you though, what's changed about the message? What has changed about the truth that Christ came, He died, He rose from the grave, and His blood has washed our sins away? What's changed about that truth? What's changed about the truth that the New Testament is littered with examples and concepts and ideas that have just gone by the wayside in the 21st century? Here's the truth I want to share with you today. Too many people that I run into are under the delusion that going to church 1 time a week, it makes them a Christian leader. That 1 time a week is all it takes to keep your heart centered on Christ. That 1 hour a week allows you to it's like the initials MD behind your name, or the initials PhD behind your name, or whatever your set of initials behind your name. It's like your name and then CL for Christian leader, because you went to church 1 hour a week. That, to me, that doesn't make sense. I don't know how that computes in people's minds. I get the concept that your faith is between, your relationship with Christ is what it is. That's a relationship between you and Christ. I understand, though, that there is community. I understand that there is daily Bible reading. I understand that there is a prayer relationship. I understand that there is a relationship between the Spirit living within you and God. How do we somehow come to the how did we ever devolve to the point where we think 1 hour a week is enough, though? How did we get to the point where we think that 1 hour a week is good enough, and I can make mistakes the whole rest of the week as long as I make it to church on Sunday? And unfortunately, that's how our Christian walk has devolved for too many times. And I've fallen into that trap myself many times over the years. Over the last 15, 20 years, I can tell you endless times when the only time that I would worship would be on Sunday morning for an hour. There'd be no Bible class. There'd be nothing else. I would just go in, I would worship, take communion, and then walk out. And then when I got back in the car, it was kind of like that portion of my life was over for that week. Until the next week at the same time, I would do the same ritual. And as a Christian leader, we have to do better than that, because that problem is just symptomatic of other areas in our life that are going to be problematic. And I want better for you as a Christian leader. So let's get into some things that are going to make, that can shift that and make that much more effective in your life. Here's the truth. It is not being able to do big, huge things at one time that are going to make you a great leader. What's going to make you a great leader is consistency over a long period of time with a lot of really small details in your life. So let me frame this up a little bit. If the amount of time, effort, and energy that you're willing to put towards the most important, undoubtedly, you're a Christian leader, or else you wouldn't be watching this. And I'm not judging anyone. I'm not putting anybody down. Understand? I'm trying to convey a concept so that you can learn and so that you can grow. And I may be doing that well in a way that's palatable, and I may not. However, I know that you're a Christian leader, so I know that you value Christ above all else. If the amount of energy that you're willing to put towards Christ on a weekly basis is 1 hour, then I would challenge that there are a lot of other areas in your life that need some work as a Christian leader that you're not putting enough effort and energy into. Let me give you some real simple examples. How do you wake in the morning? What does your morning routine look like? Maybe it is really great, and maybe it is fantastically ironed out, and maybe you have a good grasp on your morning routine. However, for the majority of people, when they get up in the morning, they're lethargic. They're hit the snooze button. They're not at their best. It takes them an hour or two to warm up. They have to have a cup of coffee before their contemporaries can come in and talk to them. Maybe they have to have 2 or 3 cups of coffee before they're in a safe spot so people can come and engage with them. They're what you would typically call not a morning person. Here's the truth. The truth is that everybody is a morning person. Society, though, has somehow convinced us that that is not true. Society has somehow convinced us that there are actual physiological differences between morning people and not morning people, and that's just not true. That is a complete mindset thing. So that's a morning ritual. So as part of your morning ritual, do you skip breakfast? The most important part of your day, whether it be a cup of coffee as your breakfast, that's not the best, but it's still a breakfast of sorts. But do you skip meals? Is your nutrition plan lined out and healthy so that it supports your ultimate goal, which is being a Christian leader? Here's a question for you on that vein. How are you going to lead other people if you're physically impossible because your health is suffering? We throw those, we don't even consider our physical health many times as leaders as being critical to our leadership mission, but it is, because people not only look at you to model your behavior and your leadership, but they look at your health in general. And if you're slovenly and your appearance is slovenly, then there's going to be this correlation in their brain. And honest to goodness, as a Christian leader, if my health is not with me, then I can't serve as well as I could if it was. So what does your health and nutrition look like? What are your daily habits like? Do you try and get everything? Is your work structure segmented so that you can be highly productive, or you just come in, you try and put in your 8 hours, and you try and figure out how to get it all done? You're always feeling overwhelmed and swamped because you don't have any systems or processes in place to make that happen. What's your evening rituals look like? How do you shut down at the end of the day so you can ensure that you have a good night's rest, so you can wake up refreshed, so that you can be excited in the morning, so you can be motivated to go into work or start on or work in your business or work in your family or work in your church or whatever that might be? How do you shut down at the end of the day to make sure that that happens well? I'll be honest with you, if none of those pieces are coming together for you, you're probably missing the whole spiritual side of it as well. That would be my guess. Because it needs, you have to have, and I'm not telling you have to be highly uber structured about absolutely everything. However, you should have some general things that you do on a daily basis in order to ensure you have a high level of productivity and that you're really being able to work in and lean into the mission and vision that God has called you to. And you may not know that right now. I get that. And if you don't know your mission and vision, what God has called you to, then that's another area that you are going to have to dial in and put some specific focus on for a little while until you get that one figured out. But you can move forward without knowing that precisely until you do get to the point where you do know it. This all started with a conversation about how we treat and respect our relationship with Christ based upon not church attendance. That's not the point. The point is the amount of effort and energy that you're willing to dedicate to the one thing that is most important in your life. And if you do not have systems and processes, at least rudimentary ones, at least general ones in your life to be able to do that, then how do you expect to be successful in that task? I don't think that you can. You are not accidentally going to fail your way to heaven. You're not accidentally going to fail your way to being a good Christian leader. You're not going to accidentally fail your way to the next promotion. If you're in a corporate structure and it's automatic, I get it. I get it. That is not normal. That is not how it was. That's not how life's been designed. That's an accident. That's called a bureaucracy. And it's not a merit-based system. It's not something that, anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent on that little rabbit trail there that I don't really need to go down. The point is you're not going to fail. You're not going to accidentally fall or fail your way into success in anything in life that is worth having. If you have a family, you didn't raise them by accident. You didn't just, I'll just try it out and see what happens. No, you learned what you had to learn so that you could move to the next level. When they were in Pampers and diapers, you learned what you had to do. How you treat a diaper rash. How do you figure out why they're crying? What are they crying about? How do they have an earache? Do they have a sore throat? Do they have a headache? Do they have an earache? How do you figure all that stuff out? You research, you learn, you take them to the doctor, and you grow, and you move to the next level. And after they come out of diapers and they're into this toddler phase, and then they're crawling, they're getting into everything. What do? Do I leave all the glassware down where they can break it and get cut? No, I make changes and I make adjustments in my life, and I learn and I ask questions and I grow. But in our spiritual walk, we go to church 1 hour a week, and we crack the Bible open if we think about it, and we pray when we need help. And that's kind of how it is. And that's not okay. Each one of us is better than that as a Christian. Each one of us can do much better in our Christian walk. I can do much better in mine. I'm certain that if you're open and honest with yourself, you can do much better in yours. 1 hour a week isn't going to cut the mustard. 1 hour a week doesn't get the job done. That's just not how the Christian walk works. As a Christian leader, if the amount of energy and effort that you're willing to put towards your Christian leadership consisted of 1 hour a week, where would you be in your leadership walk? If all you did was ever read one book, even if it's the best book in the world on leadership, if that's all you ever did, how do you think you would grow as a leader? You wouldn't. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Leaders are readers. Leaders listen. Leaders ask questions. They ask better questions than people that aren't leaders. They're hopefully more humble and open and receptive to feedback and those answers to those questions. But in our Christian walk, we expect that 1 hour a week is going to get the job done, that's what we're called to. I mean, you can go back through history, and that was never the most important part of the Christian walk. Never in the Bible will you see where a mandate has been given to gather on the first day of the week, and that's all that you do. And that you just come, you sing some songs, you listen to somebody talk to you for a little bit. Hopefully that's enough. And if you take communion every week like I do, then that's what you do, and then you go home. You'll never see that model in the New Testament. Sorry, it's not going to happen. It's not there. There's so many things that we do like that in our lives. We cannot afford to do that any longer. As a Christian leader, you are called to so much more than that, and I want that for you. I want to help you. I want to help you learn and grow and become what God has called you to. You're worth it. You are worthy. I believe in you, and I believe in your dream. I know that God has given it to you for a reason, and it's yours for the taking, but it's going to require some effort. I hope that you enjoyed this message today. I hope that it resonated with you. If it set you a little bit on edge, that's okay. Just drop a comment down in there and let me know how you felt, and I'll be open to receiving that and looking at your feedback. Maybe we can have a discussion about it and see how I can maybe help you specifically a little bit more with whatever challenges you're facing in your life. And if it just turned you off, that's okay. Let me know. I'm open to that. I understand that my message isn't going to resonate with everybody. I'm not looking to resonate with everybody. I'm looking for those people that want to learn and grow and lead as Christian leaders and change this world and the landscape of it and bring people back to Christ. That's what I'm looking for. So if that's you, that's awesome. I hope that this helped. I hope it added value to you today. Before we get out of here today, I want to make sure that you've been over to midlifechristlist.com and you've checked out that newest resource that we've dropped in there for you. It is really awesome. It's going to help transform your life, especially if you're just getting started and you're stuck on your mission and vision. I know that there's some tools in there. It's 10 minutes or less of your time to really lean in and change the direction of your life forever. So make sure you go out there and download that and enjoy that transformation. It's really going to make a difference. I promise you that, and it'll help you start you in the right direction to learn about your mission and vision for Christ. So I hope you go check that out. If you haven't been on our social media platforms in a while, I want to make sure that you're subscribed to our Facebook channels, our Instagram, and our YouTube channel, as well as our podcast delivery. That way you can stay up to date on the Focus on Christ podcast, and you can provide some feedback in there so we can help grow this and make it so that it is something that you will want to dial into each and every single week. I really want to add value to your life, but I want to make sure that message is something that you need and is really going to help you in your Christian walk. So super excited to be with you today. I can't wait to see you guys next time. And until then, God bless.